Spencer, Charlie Shepherd has got hometown support. He's got improvement over the last 18 months or so. Is he ready to take on somebody of Johnson's experience?
I think he is, yeah, because I think it's a case of Johnson, you know, Johnson's been to the Royal a few times now. He's been in a lot of hard fights. He's 35 years of age, and I think they've got Tom Johnson just at the right time. I think if you look at his last 6 fights, he's only won 3 of them. He's lost 3 of them. So, you know, it's the right fight at the right time. I think that Tom Johnson in form, it would have been a different story. But tonight, I think he's going to be Charles Shepherd tonight.
Gary?
Shepherd, good chance, good form, hometown decision. You'll see the same type of fight as the Brody fight. He's very tough, rugged, comes forward. It just depends how much Tom Johnson's got left in the tank.
The crowd is getting noisy here, as you may be able to gather. When we come back from this, the fighters will be in the ring.
But he's seen this all before on his travels through 11 defences as the IBF's featherweight king. It's easily the biggest fight at night for the local man, Charles Shepherd, who's proved himself top of the domestic pile. Is he good enough to move into world class, even though Johnson is now 35 and has been losing a few lately, including one to Junior Jones in his last fight, but that was a good one over 12 rounds in which they were both on the floor. Silky skills, Tom Boom Boom Johnson, a man not to be underestimated. Can Shepherd cope with him? Shepherd, who usually shows a obsessional devotion to work rate. As always, Charles Shepherd in the solid black trunks and the boots with no socks, just like his hero, Mike Tyson.
I think this really is a step up for Shepherd, even though, as you said, Ian, Johnson is not what he was. He's still very, very knowledgeable.
Interesting to see what Johnson's attitude is to this as well. Is he here for the payday late in his career, or is it, as he says, that this is the second coming of Tom Johnson? They're fighting for the lightly regarded IBO World, in inverted commas, title here. It's a second division world championship, just another part of the alphabet soup, but it's a very, very significant fight and a fascinating one for both men, this. Shepherd on the way up, Johnson seemingly on the right uppercut to do that job in the 8th round. Johnson complaining about Shepherd's use of the head.
Size.
Doing a little more work, Johnson.
That's good left hand from Shepherd, his best punch so far. An early success for him in the second round after a frustrating first session. The black trunks, remember, of Shepherd, the blue of the former long-reigning world #1 featherweight, Tom Johnson. Now living near Detroit in Southfield, but originally from Evansville, Indiana. Again, Johnson holding on the inside and making it hard for Shepherd to work.
Shepherd very physically strong. You would not think Johnson could compete with him in the pulling and pushing department.
Can be dangerous with his right hand as well, Tom Johnson. This is a man who's got 2 wins over Manuel Medina, who's currently the IBF champion. He's beaten Troy Dorsey and Sugar Baby Rojas, Eddie Croft.
We've got to hope this fight can start flowing a little bit.
body shots from Johnson, who started a little negatively, it has to be said. Looking to foil and frustrate Shepherd. He admitted to me last night he'd never heard of Charles Shepherd, or the British and Commonwealth title even, before he got here and took this assignment. Which is not to say he doesn't respect what Shepherd has done. That's a good right hand from Shepherd there.
Shepherd just closing the distance down, not allowing Johnson any room to work. Still a little messy with a lot of holding, but...
And Shepherd unhappy about something and complaining to referee John Coyle about that. Oh, it's a good left hand there. Shepherd has to be careful he doesn't get caught by sucker punches on the way in. Johnson's clever enough to take advantage. And there's a bit of a cut, I think. He's cut, left eye, Shepherd, trouble for him in the second round. As this fight boils up a little.
Well, I think that's maybe what he was complaining about, Shepherd.
He's saying he's being elbowed. Oh dear, it's a nasty one by the left eye, and he says, look, I've been elbowed. Shepherd is complaining bitterly. And Tom Johnson, well, there are one or two dubious things going on in there. The cut, luckily, is round the side of the eye, and the blood might not flow into it. Well, they've got Jack Doughty and Chris Fuller, and I think somewhere in there, Benny King is helping out with the cuts. Dramatic stuff.
Yes, it really is. He's very unhappy about that. And the cut looks quite bad. You can see that the blood running down now, even as they're treating it.
Well, it's a bit dodgy, this, isn't it, from Tom Boom Boom Johnson? It would be sad if this man, who was such a fine champion in the twilight of his career, is going to sort of develop into a bit of a sad old survivor who has to stoop to one or two things that are not exactly in the Queensberry rules to get through.
Well, it was difficult to see exactly what he was doing there, but he seems to be getting away with it, Tom Johnson.
It's been ruled officially as an accidental headbutt. Now, if the fight gets stopped because of that before 4 rounds are completed, we shall have a technical draw. They won't go to the scorecards. After that, they will. Just to keep you fully appraised of what the rule book says here. Not that they always obey that either. It's a roughhouse. Shepherd desperately trying to get his punches in, and he does so with a good right hand. No doubt that Johnson's legs are not what they were, and maybe not his reflexes either. And he's been on the floor a few times too in recent contests. Incidentally, Johnson reckons that the hardest hitter he's ever faced is not Nassim Hamed, but Ava Belanio, a fellow he fought in Newcastle, who had him down in that one.
Well, it's difficult to say that when he beat Belanio, but was stopped off Hamed.
Yes, I think I think he didn't really want to give any credit to Nas, to be honest with you.
Well, I think that's what it sounds like.
Yeah. He looked as if he was hit hard enough by Hamed that night to me. Well, it's a mess, isn't it, at the moment?
It is. It's an awful fight. Shepherd just dropping his head. He's guilty of that himself, and he's closing the distance down a bit too much, and neither one is able to work.
It's a decent jab by Shepherd. Trying to wade away into the body. Just listen to this roar from the Carlisle crowd. They've never had a boxer that they can get behind like this. Shepherd has to be very, very careful, though, that he doesn't give it the charge so much that he's getting careless, because this man still has instinctive skills and timing and might just find one punch to break the dream.
Shepard's pushing forward. There's not a great deal of clean work. What there is, Shepard's probably landing.
Shepherd complaining to the referee that he's being held and prevented from working on the inside. Negative performance from Johnson. Frustrating for Shepherd. Nails Johnson with a little left hand along those ropes. He's not trying to work too much, is he, Johnson here? I don't know if this is his way of trying to pace his way through 12 rounds, whether he'll somehow try to pick it up later. What do you think?
Well, I think it's difficult for him because he's not getting the room to get his punches off. I think he would do, but if you look, Shepherd is pulling right forward, and there's no real room in there.
Got him with a good right hand there, Shepherd. Just occasionally he is finding the room for the odd useful-looking shot. The cut doesn't look too much of a problem for Shepherd. Done a good job on that. And again, octopus-like, the arms become entangled. There's no room for anybody to work in there.
Look where the head is of Shepherd. Just gives you some idea where he carries his head. Very, very low.
At last they work on the outside. How do you think Shepherd should adapt to this situation? The right hand, that was a fair adaptation, and he's wrestled Johnson over. That's not a knockdown.
Well, I think he needs to give a little bit more angles. He's just rushing forward, closing his own work down. He needs a little bit more room to get his punches off and to step up out a little bit. Don't always be straight in front of Johnson, step to the side.
Good body shot from Shepherd. Decent work with the jab too. Shepherd doing most of the work that matters. It looks that way anyway.
Johnson finding it very difficult to work in this roughhouse-like tactics.
Four centimeters. Believe me, it can make a lot of difference.
Fitness freak, Shepherd. You certainly should have the edge, you'd think, in that department. Not been pretty to watch, though, so far, in all honesty. That's a good right hand, though, from Johnson. Johnson, who in his heyday had this habit of, even if he had problems in a fight, he found a way to prevail, like the long-reigning champions do.
Well, in this one, he needs to try and keep Shepherd at bay a little bit. He needs the room to get his punches off, and that is very difficult to do.
There's always the question with aging fighters like Johnson about how much desire and real ambition they have left. Have they mentally settled for a twilight of career earning paydays? Shepherd again, decent right. Shepherd normally a resilient character, although Michael Ayres did stop him in 3 rounds and Justin Duco in 5 on a cut.
And Johnson's now trying to get his punches off, but it's still very difficult for him to find the room.
Not so much the fight in a phone box, it's the fight in a match box almost, this, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's not a great deal of good technical work going on, but this is the sort of thing that suits Shepherd.
Johnson prepared to stand off now and let some leather flow. Shepherd got in with a good right hand to the body. Looks like he's winning the fight at the moment.
Six days and 7 nights on Island Paradise.
Corner there. Trainer of Charles Shepherd, who's landing more. There's the 5th round count out, 22-16. And a much bigger success rate, although Johnson actually threw a lot more, he landed a lot less. Interesting.
But it's not really free-flowing boxing. A little bit like I think is it the wrestling that comes from these parts?
Yeah. Shepherd looking as hard as Hadrian's Wall. Just the feeling going into this one that the British fighter looking for big opportunities down the road might just be a little too fresh and ambitious for the old champion. That may be the way it turns out. Or has Johnson still got something left in the locker?
He's put an awful lot into these punches, Shepherd. He's not bothered where they land, he's just letting them go.
Beginning to get through with a few more of them as well now. Just at the end of that last round then, Johnson gave a little nod of appreciation to Shepherd.
I wonder if Johnson has prepared for a fight as physical as this.
Again, Shepherd crowding in for room and thumping away to the body. Johnson reckoned going into this fight, said to me last night, he was 97% he thought of the fighter who initially won his world title against Manuel Medina back in '93, but I'd have the percentage a bit less than that myself, wouldn't you?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you just have to look at his recent fight record, 6 fights, and only won 3 of them to say that he's certainly not the fighter he was.
And Shepherd still has to do the job of beating him. He still will have his pride.
Johnson's managed to get a few more punches off in this round. He's starting to just let them go. Realizes he maybe has to fight fire with fire here.
Oh, good right uppercut. Class shot that was from Johnson. And another right. The usual swarming all-out aggression from Shepherd. He only knows one way. He was in an absolute thriller with PJ Gallagher, which was voted British Fight of the Year a few years back. And he lost that one by the narrowest margin. He's winning this, I think, at the moment.
experience the new Kia. The new Kia in gear. A most surprising driving experience. Get in gear with Kia and discover the real meaning of value.
Quite a character, this Tom Johnson, and well, some would say he's had some really tough times in his life. His father was murdered when he was young. 2 of his managers have been shot dead. He wouldn't be in a hurry to fill that role, would you?
He certainly wouldn't have. I mean, the season he's had a rough old bringing up. It's been tough for Tom Johnson.
And apart from all that, he was partially blinded in his amateur days in a car crash. Came back from all of that to establish himself as the #1 featherweight in the world between 93 and 97. February 97 at the London Arena it was that he lost his crown to Nassim Hamed in what was a unification fight, in fact.
Well, that time given it an awful lot to Shepard. Just the last one where Johnson started to work and Shepard wasn't really catching him with anything cleanly. The right hand of Johnson's just coming into play a little more.
Just thinking the same thing.
We're starting to think alike now, Ian.
It's dangerous, isn't it? That's not a bad right back from Shepard, though. Again, sinking in that right to the body. There may be nothing too sophisticated about Shepard, but he is so fit, he works so hard that he would be a handful for almost anybody. What he doesn't have is big power.
Well, I think that's a blessing for his opponents with the sort of style and strength and fitness that he has, that he doesn't have the power as well.
You have to ask the question, how much will Johnson continue to want this at this advanced stage of his career? There must be something ticking away inside with all those business interests and the money back home. Says, do I really need to be doing this anymore? Maybe. Or maybe there's something else that says, hey, I've still got it and I can beat guys like this. I don't know.
Well, I think it's very difficult when you've been the fighter and the champion that he has. Just to walk away, that's a tough thing.
Shepard appeared to wince at something going on the inside there.
Well, Johnson managing just to push Shepard back and push him around a little bit himself.
It is, for the most part, a messy brawl, but it's a messy brawl that Shepard is getting the better of. Heavier in that corner after 7 rounds. He did have success with a good right hand. There it is in that last round.
Corners, 10 seconds.
That was a good shot, just showing that he, there's still a bit of class in there.
Seconds out.
If he can get the room to get his punches off.
Here's the 8th round. Fighting for this IBO super featherweight title. I don't think anybody's in any doubt at all that the #1 at this weight in the world is the brilliant, and I do mean that, Floyd Mayweather. If you haven't seen him, try to get a glimpse sometime next time he's on. Shepard bundling his man across the ring. Johnson almost tripped up on something there. I think one of the advertising hoardings came into the ring, and the American just caught out there just a bit sleepy as they went back into battle, and caught by that jab with his gloves down. starting to open up a little more here, Johnson. Apparently when he fought Junior Jones, the last round between those two was a real stand-up slugfest, as the Americans like to call it.
Well, that must have proved that he's still got the stamina, Johnson.
Shepherd probably relishing the brawl. He doesn't mind this kind of thing. I think the kind of fighter that would probably cause him the most problems would be a slick stylist with a lot of lateral movement that he could never quite nail.
Yeah, so somebody that's very, very sharp that can catch him as he comes in and sort of double up the power on impact.
No knockdown, just fell over Johnson's foot, I think, there, Charlie Shepherd. That's a nice right uppercut from Shepherd. That was a classy shot. Johnson trying to just up the tempo, you sense, over the last round or two. It's a grueling and intense kind of affair in there. Not much in the round. Shepherd, who originally came from the coastal town of Silloth in Cumbria, now lives in Carlisle with his lady Sherelle. They met while she was working at trainer Jack Doughty's gym at Shaw near Manchester.
There's that nice little uppercut from Shepherd. Johnson trying to come back with an uppercut of his own, but the round's difficult to score. It was very difficult, a lot of pulling and pushing, and both of them had some success, but difficult to separate them in that one.
I'll tell you what's great, the support that Charles Shepherd gets up here in Carlisle. They don't have too many sporting heroes up in the border town. I think Stan Bowles and Peter Beardsley used to play for the local football team. Big names, but they've never really had a boxer like this that they can call a hero, and they're hoping for other nights with Shepherd, who, if he wins this, will have a version, albeit a rather spurious one, of a world title. There are, of course, a ridiculously stupid number of governing bodies around now.
Showed really loading up that left too. I'm not sure there's a bit more damage to the eye. Certainly the head's rubbing about a great deal.
Shepherd's corner, they've done a great job with that cut, because it looked pretty nasty when it first opened up as early as the second round. It's opened up again now, I think, too. Shepherd trying to nail Johnson against those ropes and let go his shots, and doing it pretty well. Three right hands to the head from Shepherd. Johnson has to give ground. He's caught by another one and another. Looking open, Johnson. Can Shepherd do what Nassim Hamed did and stop this man in Britain? That's pretty good stuff from Shepherd in this round. Listen to the crowd.
Well, the referee having a good look at that eye. It certainly worsened.
I think if he stopped Shepherd in this place, he'd need an army to get him out of here, John Coyle. It is bad, though, that eye. It's got a lot worse. This is a very concerted attack in this round from Shepherd, but Johnson is normally pretty durable, but he's looking very open to right hands now. Tom Johnson. The corner will want to get back to work on that cut again. This is all-out aggression from Shepherd.
Well, I think he needs it. That eye looks very bad,
Doesn't it? Fred Benny King in the corner will need to get to work. Shepherd, meanwhile, is trying to stop Johnson before the cut stops him. Well, that's Shepherd's best round yet. He landed with a lot. Look at the crowd, look at his fans. I should add at this point, as we look at what the computer is saying about Shepherd landing many more punches in the 9th round, that if the fight was stopped now because of the cut, they would go to the scorecards. So Shepherd would be ahead, I would think.
Yes, you would think so. I've got Shepherd in a good lead at this stage, and that was a very big effort from Shepherd, and he had Johnson in a little bit of trouble a few times. The right hand was the punch. There you see it. Hits Johnson full in the face. He's trying to bring the hands down with body punches and then bring them back over to the head.
Corners, 10 seconds.
And that was a big round for him.
Second round, round 10.
10th round. Between the rounds, Johnson was talking to himself in the corner. Don't give it away, Boom, he was saying to himself. Don't give it away. How are you scoring this, Glenn?
I've got Shepherd now 6 points clear.
Yeah, I've got him in a lead too, but I just wonder from that comment whether Johnson felt as if he was winning the fight. He's saying, don't give it away.
Maybe there's a little bit more panic in Johnson than just the points there.
Charlie is the jump. One thing I'm fairly certain Shepherd will not do is run out of stamina. He'd probably go 25 rounds.
Yes, I think he could. He's very, very fit, very strong, but it really means a lot to him here. He's with great support. He wants this victory.
I bet he's got a standing heart rate of about 30. He's so fit. Really is a little terrier, isn't he, Shepherd? Has been criticised for being a bit one-dimensional. I suppose that is true about his style of fighting, but what he does very, very well. Another right hand. Can the punches work best for Shepherd, especially late on? Last half minute of the 10th. Great exchange.
Good shots from Johnson now. Good right hand. Lifted the head of Shepherd.
Just looking a bit open. Dangerous moments for Shepherd there. Still moments of defiance from Johnson.
Well, it's very close quarter work, but they both had some success in that round. Johnson, for me, maybe a little bit more. Caught Shepherd with a few good shots. He had Shepherd against the ropes and was content to stand and push him back, and Shepherd having to cover up a little bit then.
Corners, 10 seconds.
Thank you, corners. Thank you, corners.
Seconds out.
Oh, just look at that face of Charlie Shepherd. Round 11. I've got Shepherd 3 in front.
I've got Shepherd a little wide. I've got him 5 in front.
I think you can argue maybe about the margin, but I don't think there's much doubt that Shepherd looks to be on his way to a victory here. These are good shots again. He's got Johnson on the run here. Thudding right to the head. John Cole, the referee, looks on very, very closely. Eventually, the American using his experience to tie up Shepherd and finding a right hand of his own. This man would walk through walls to land a single punch, I think. This Charles Shepherd.
Was terrific determination and strength and will driving him forward. Excellent fitness as well.
His attitude is so professional. So much more so than in his early career when he came a cropper a few times. Cause a stoppage in the fight. Not this late, you wouldn't think so anyway. Really been a kind of fire and brimstone roughhouse, this one, hasn't it?
It really has been such a physical fight. Very tough. Both fighters will really be feeling the effects of this battle for quite a while.
Well, you wondered how deep Tom Johnson was prepared to dig this advanced stage of his career. The answer, pretty deep. He seems to want it, doesn't he?
Yes, he does want it. Certainly there weren't false words he was speaking. It obviously means a lot to him. He's been under a lot of pressure, but he still keeps trying to get his own punches off.
If he could lift this title, it would at least give him some kind of bargaining counter, I think, back home for purses for future fights. And determination and fire of Shepherd cannot be denied, and he looked an old man as he went back to his stool there, Tom Johnson. He collapsed onto the stool, he sagged onto it.
Well, I think this has obviously took so much out of Johnson. It's been a real brawl, and Shepherd getting the best of it in this exchange, letting the shots go. Johnson is back against the ropes, and Shepherd just pumping them arms, trying to put every ounce of strength he can into those shots.
throat with the jab amid all the brawling from Shepherd. Heads coming dangerously close together. Last round coming up. Look at the crowd. They've been on their feet. It's standing ovation time now. They can only get 1,500 people in here. They've paid £75,000 between them to watch this. And they think their man is on the way to victory. And you know what? I think they're right. Unless Johnson can come up with something sensational.
Well, you said he had to pull it back from the brink, and he did before, but this really is something special if he can pull it back from the brink here.
They're used to dramatic finishes in Carlisle, of course. Remember the football season and the goalkeeper's injury time goal that kept the local team in the lead. Judges are from Britain, United States and Holland. They'll decide. But Shepherd's done more for us, a lot more.
Left usually trying to get a hand free and work away inside. Johnson also trying to punch. He'll realise that time's probably running out for him.
Now this is an aging fight, you'd think. And Johnson can't really, you'd think, have too many more of these. Shepherd refusing to be dominated on the ropes, typically. There's a manic desire always about Shepherd, but especially so tonight. A win here will project his career forward even further. The winner, by the way, is going to fight Scotland's Ian McLeod. They tell me. Johnson still wanting to let the leather fly. It's just typical of the action that we've had the whole way, this. No classic, just a brawl. But I think it's a brawl that Shepherd has relished. Exactly the kind of fight in which he's likely to prevail. And we think he has prevailed, don't we?
Yes, I certainly think so. I think he may have picked up a cut above the right eye as well. Yeah, Shepherd,
he has
a lot of damage.
Looks like somebody's tattooed Shepherd's face with red ink. But I don't think he's going to mind too much. You're going to get the bell any second now. There it is. It is over. Crowd go wild. They think Shepherd has won it. It goes to the scorecards. And while those scorecards are being collated, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with you with the decision.
Dr. Clark Samatorio has scored the contest 112-117. And Judge Henk Andriensen has scored the contest 114-116. All three judges are in favour of the new IBO Super Featherweight Champion of the World from the beautiful city of Carlisle.